Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and I've been seeing a lot of buzz about the new EA Sports NCAA football video game that is set to release in July. We haven't had one since 2014, I think. 2014 was the last NCAA football game to ever be released, and there's a ton of buzz about it. I mean, people are excited. And it got me thinking about my favorite sports video games growing up because unfortunately I was not a big NCAA football guy. I never actually played it at all. Maybe at a buddy's house once, but it was not anything that was ever on my docket, although I was a big sports video game guy. It's pretty much all I played. So today we're going to go through all of the sports video games that I played growing up, talk about some of my favorites, and just reminisce a little bit, throw it back to the good old days. These are all the consoles that I had. I started with a Nintendo 64 in kindergarten. My aunt got it for me for my 5th or 6th birthday. I mean, that's a pretty big deal to a kindergartner to receive a Nintendo 64 at that time. 5th grade, I upgraded to the GameCube. I kept it in the Nintendo family, and I think the GameCube was a good console. I think the 64 would outpace it slightly in terms of overall enjoyment that I had as a child. Then I got a Wii. And here's the deal. I know that the Wii is very divided in terms of people's opinions on it. I was underwhelmed. I think the Wii had a crazy high ceiling, and they just didn't ever reach that ceiling. I mean, it was the first of its kind to introduce the physical movement, and you have to respect what they were trying to do. But as far as gameplay went, I was never really impressed. Unfortunately, I sold my GameCube for the Wii. Now, there was the adaptability of the Wii where you could plug in a GameCube controller to the top, but it just didn't feel the same, and so I never really did that. Ultimately, the Wii is probably the worst console on here, and still to this day, I'm a little disappointed in what the Wii was able to do, or should I say not able to do. In 9th grade, I was given an Xbox by my friend. He had 2. Maybe 3, and then he just gave me one. So shout out to Mark for that generosity. I mean, looking back, that's very generous thing to just give somebody a console. So I maybe was not as thankful for that as I should have been at the time. So let's go through each of these. We'll start with the 64. These 4 games were the sports video games that I had on a rotation. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, I remember there was this level or this mode where if you did a trick on a rail or a ramp, it would change it to the color of your team, and you had to try to get the most colors in the skate park. That was one of my favorite games. NBA Showtime is a game that if I had somebody over right now, I could load it up and play it. Some of these other ones, maybe not, but I think Showtime has stood the test of time. The quotes from the announcers, the simplicity of the gameplay. It's really just 2 or 3 buttons, fast pace. They hit a ton of threes, crazy dunks. One of the best games of all time, dare I say. All right. NFL Quarterback Club 99 was the football game I played most on this. I didn't get NFL Blitz until well into my high school years. Like when the 64 kind of came back, I bought NFL Blitz in high school, but I didn't grow up playing it. Quarterback Club 99 was okay. It was more realistic. I think this was like this preceded Madden, or was like the last iteration before Madden took over. There was a team called, I want to say the Iguanas, and it was like 99 overall, so I just used that team every time and dominate. Looking back, I mean, a challenge probably would have been fun, but I was more interested in scoring 80 points a game. And then NBA Courtside 2 featuring Kobe Bryant. There's only one mode that I played. I didn't play the regular mode. There was an arcade mode where certain spots on the floor were worth more points. There was like a 20-point spot, a 5-point spot, and a 10-point spot. And if you made the shot, usually a 3-pointer, a deep 3-pointer from that spot, you would get those points. So I would just run around shooting those half-court shots, shooting the 3/4 court shots, and trying to beat my opponent 280 to 50. Again, probably not the most fun, but it's what I spent a lot of my time doing. Moving on to the GameCube, and these I still feel a warmth in my heart when I look at these. SSX Tricky was a snowboarding game. EA Sports Big, as you can see, there's 2 EA Sports Bigs on here. They had a good run in the early 2000s. SSX Tricky was not a game that I really binged, but I think it was fun to play in small amounts. Really just a lot of downhill snowboarding trick action. Not much to it that I remember besides that. But NBA Street V3 featuring the Mario All-Stars was one of the best career modes, gameplay modes, like overall, not necessarily a season, because you didn't really play a season, but it was kind of like a season. I don't even truly remember all the details of how it worked. I just remember having a ton of fun and getting the game breakers and just wiggling that little yellow stick around a million times until I had these combos and I was breaking everybody's ankles, and then I would throw oops to whoever. I mean, it was just the creativity that you could have in this game and the way you can customize and play with different people. I felt the graphics were good. The courts were awesome. I can't speak highly enough about that game. Awesome game. And then Madden 07, just a classic. I remember I customized Sean Alexander to be like 400 pounds and 4 feet tall, and we just bulldoze everybody. Outside of that, it was just a game that I enjoyed playing, but not one I really no-lifed like I did probably NBA Street V3. Here we go. This is it. The Wii had so much. I mean, I had 2K, I had Madden, I had a golf game, I had it. Just Wii Sports is the only one that I felt did anything worthwhile. And I get it. I shouldn't be too critical of a console that is introduced and at first of its kind, and then have these high expectations like it's going to be flawless. But it was one of the furthest things from flawless, I felt. I mean, the games outside of Wii Sports that used the functionality as far as sports goes were awful. I remember the Madden game was horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. I played it like 2 or 3 times. I think the version I had was like the Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald cover. Awful. Wii Sports was fine. I spent a lot of time bowling and a lot of time playing tennis. Never really got into baseball. Boxing, I took it too seriously and I would get tired before a round was over. And golf, I always felt like it was too touchy. I know some of my friends loved golf. Like that was their favorite game. I could never putt. It just felt like I would move it back a little bit and just blast it for miles. So Wii Sports is like a 7 out of 10. It had some good games, but ultimately the Wii let me down. And then we got the 360 from my friend Mark, who just handed it to me. I want to mention 2K11, and not because it was a favorite game of mine, but I had a MyPlayer. It was my first MyPlayer, and it became like this meme with my friends. I played for the Golden State Warriors, got drafted by the Warriors. I was a power forward, and my name was Ralph Frazier. And I averaged 3 points and 6 rebounds a game. I ran up my points, my career points, by setting screens for score. That's all I did. I played a season of this MyPlayer just coming out of the post and setting a screen for Steph Curry. That's it. That's all I did. And that was fun to me at that time. Most people are going to choose a point guard or a shooting guard and score 40 a game. Not me. Not Ralph Frazier. I'm going to set screen for scores. I'm going to get 6 boards a game, and we're going to be horrible, and I never played it after a season. That's probably why. I don't know if this counts. I don't know if Need for Speed Hot Pursuit counts as a sports game, but I'm going to count it because there are elements of competition and maybe slight athleticism with how it's probably not a sports game. Now, I will say that on the GameCube, there was a Hot Pursuit game, Need for Speed, that I really enjoyed playing, but I probably spent more time playing this. There was, I think, in like the career mode or the challenge mode where you had to do certain things for bronze, silver, and gold. I beat every single level except one. I got gold on every single level except one. And on that level, it was like a 12-mile just race. I mean, no cops even. And I could only get silver ever. So unfortunately, I still have that hanging over my head like a dark cloud. And I will never probably beat that level. And I have to accept it. Honorable mention would be this game right here, Skate 3. played it a ton. I actually could not pass a level on this and had to call my buddy over, and he came over just to beat this level. There's a specific move. It's like a 360 kickflip where I just could never get it, but he got it. And shout out to him for coming in clutch there. That's a fun game. There was supposed to be Escape 4 coming out, I think, or Escape 5. My numbers might be mixed up. I don't know what the status is on that, but we'll see. And lastly, this would probably rival NBA Showtime on the 64 as one of my favorite sports games of all time. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10. I created a guy, called him Peaches. That was his name. He had like this really curly, like Little Dicky afro. And this game was so easy when you got it down. I mean, you could just button mash for power. You could add spin to the ball. And once you max out your guy, I mean, I was going into these tournaments and I'd play all 4 rounds of the tournaments. Nowadays on sports video games, golf video games, you can set it to where you only play 1 round of a tournament and that's your score. No, on this one, you had to play all 4. I'd play all 4 and I would shoot just like 36 under, 45 under. I would shoot between 12 and 18 under on every single round. It wouldn't even be close. Again, I don't know why that was fun to me, but it was, and it probably would go down as one of my favorite games of all time in the sports world. Outside of this, after the 360, kind of ended for me when I was in college, I did get an Xbox One, and I just played Fortnite. And then I got a PlayStation 4, and I just played Fortnite. I tried a 2K golf game, PGA 2K golf, because they weren't making the Tiger Woods anymore. I didn't like it. It wasn't very good, so I just played Fortnite. And then I just recently got a PS5, and I bought the Masters Edition PGA game, and it's okay. I'm enjoying it, but I'm just playing Fortnite if I ever play anything, mainly because I use it to keep in touch with my buddies. It's an easy game to get on, talk to people who have moved away that you no longer see. Do I like Fortnite? It's okay. It has a special place in my heart because of the length of time I've played it and the memories that I have playing it. But am I ever going to get on alone and play Fortnite? No. I use it as a social game. So that is what I got for you as far as my favorite games. Drop your favorites in the comments. And if you're getting NCAA football, let me know. I probably won't, but if there's enough steam for it, I may just go with the pack. I may buy in. So thanks for coming by. As always, if you like any kind of sports content, sports betting content, anything sports related, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep growing this channel. More videos to come. Take care, and we'll see you next time.